Welcome to the Connect Miami with author and life coach columnist Susie Moore, lifestyle and wellness coach Tracy Campoli, and the hottest radio jock in Miami, Stitches. Pull up to our community where we collaborate, we cultivate, and we make magic. Let's go.
Happy Saturday and welcome to the Connect Network. I am Susie Moore and I'm so happy that the Connect Show South Florida will be waking you up every Saturday morning right here on Fox 29. You see, for me and the other girl bosses who are going to be coming to you every Saturday morning, Saturdays are all about success. We're talking about business, we're talking about female entrepreneurship, all across South Florida. Are you ready to meet my fabulous co-hosts? Please help me in welcoming Tracy Campoli and Stitches. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. Hello.
So thrilled we're all here together. You guys are dreamers, doers, major goal bosses, and this is one fine group that we have right now. So can you please share with our viewers a tiny bit about yourselves? Who wants to go first?
I can start. Hi, hello, good morning. I'm Tracy Campoli, and I'm a lifestyle and wellness coach. And I help women lose weight, get fit, and create bodies and lives that they love without dieting or doing endless hours at the gym. I'm also a wife and a mom to a 1-year-old little girl, and I love it here in South Florida.
You too, Tracy. We love you.
Yes, girl.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and wherever you're tuned in from. My name is Stitches. That's how most people say it. I'm a radio personality on iHeartRadio 103.5 The Beat here in South Florida and also across the United States. I'm a voiceover actress. I love different voices. Hey, I'm talking like you.
I love it.
Also an author for a children's book, Chi Belle, and also an artist. I love music. I love using music and events to just bring people up and put smiles on people's face and to impact our community. So a lot more, but that's the short version. Let's talk about you, sis.
I am an author and advice columnist. I love speaking about all things business, all things confidence, productivity, getting it done. And I'm really with my sisters here. We are talking about the truth. We are breaking it down, what you need to know about business, about going for it. And today we're touching on some really interesting topics, specifically around spotting opportunity. So coming up, do you have the ability to spot opportunity in your business? Very important quality. We'll show you what to look out for after the break.
As a person can be.
Here's a look at Regina King's directorial debut of One Night in Miami. What happens when Cassius Clay, Malcolm X, Jim Brown, and Sam Cooke find themselves in the same room.
Cassius Marcellus Clay is the new heavyweight champion of the world, boy.
Yes, he is.
And I don't even have a scratch on my face. Oh my goodness. Cash.
Cash?
What? Cash, what? Why am I so pretty? And I'm only 22 years old. There is no way I'm supposed to be this great. Look, Alexander the Great conquered the whole world.
Available only on Amazon Prime.
Now, being an entrepreneur certainly takes a vision. We need to see things that other people don't. And the ability to see things and take action is this killer skill. So now 2021 is in full swing. We're already here. How do you decide what to say no to, what to say yes to, and how do you spot opportunities in your life and business?
For me, you know what I've learned? First, pinpointing what the goal is. Pinpointing, first, what is the vision? Write it down, make it plain. You remember I told you guys my story about my professor, Dr. Reveal? He would tell me, write it down, speech. So I write it down, make the vision plain. And if it really doesn't make sense with it, I kind of got to move on. Unless it's something that I feel like, you guys know me by now. It's like, if I feel like God is tugging me, okay, you got to do this. I may not see it at first, but it's down the line. He sees further than me. But right now, if it doesn't make sense with the vision, then I don't think I'm touching it. I don't think I am. That's for me.
Yeah, I agree with you, Stitches. I feel like it has to be in alignment with what my bigger goal is and what my bigger vision is. And now also just since becoming a mom, anything I say yes to means, me taking time away from my daughter and my family. So it just kind of upped that, like, whatever opportunities come my way, they better be really good. And so, it's funny how being a parent has really changed that for me. So it's exciting though. It's wonderful. How about you, Susie?
I feel as if having a vision is the ultimate thing that no one talks about, right? It's like, what's your vision for your life? If you ask the average person that just on the street, most people won't really understand the question, right? Taking time to nurture a vision, foster one, build it up in our minds, experience it almost before it happens it's a really key skill. And I think we're never taught this. We don't understand the importance of it necessarily. But when you have a clear vision, knowing where it is that you're going and what you want to achieve, it is this delicious filter. Because you're like, does this kind of agree with my vision? Is this kind of aligned with what I'm hoping to be, do, and have in my life, in my business? And if something fits, you just kind of know it and it kind of snaps right in. And if it doesn't, you kind of know, even though you might think that's cool, or I don't want to let that person down by saying no to them, your vision will always save you. Because it just keeps things so nice and clear, and it allows you to be a boss in a bit of a different way because you're being led by something that's big and that's clear and it just feels right. But would you agree most people never really think, what's my vision, or do I have a vision? It's not even something that is kind of really conscious. But once you are clear, then opportunities just make sense or they don't. Do you agree?
Agree.
I 100% agree. You said something too that I'd love to tack on here is, it's also like that intuition with your vision, right? It's that gut feeling of it's like we always know those moments where it's like you said yes to something, but really it kind of didn't work. And you were kind of like, this is too much. It's not exactly that push pull. When we tap into our intuition and our gut feelings along with that vision, it's like you can't go wrong.
So I know that you're very intuitively driven. You kind of know what works for you, what doesn't work for you. I feel like for you, it's always an easy yes if something agrees. If something agrees with your vibe, is that right?
True story. It's funny because it goes into what Tracy said, that tug and pull. If it causes me like a lot of anxiety. And sometimes the anxiety I don't want to call it anxiety, but sometimes it's kind of like a nervousness. There's happy nervousness, like, okay, I'm a little nervous, but I'm ready. And then you have like this heaviness. That's the word, heaviness. There's a certain heaviness and uneasiness, and there's a certain confusion that comes about. When I feel that coming on, I know it's not something that I probably need to enter into. And then you know me, what do? I put up my little finger, I go in my little closet, like, God, you tell me what to do. Where do I need to go? And then I get my clarity from there. But if there's a tug and a pull and there's like a heaviness on me, and I true story, I end up feeling it in my chest. Like it's in my chest area and it gets really heavy. And I'm like, oh no, this don't feel good. So I got to move on.
Our body tells us, right? We get that information. Our body definitely tells us.
I feel too, like part of just knowing what the right thing is just kind of trusting what your body says, because your body does know. And fear and intuition, I think, sometimes get a bit confusing, right? It's like, that feels scary, better not do it. But like you said, Stitches, it's a kind of like a nice fear. It's like an expansive fear. Like it's scary, but still it's kind of, thrusting me forward in some way, versus like, this just feels off. Right. And a woman's intuition is more than gold, is worth more than gold. Like you said, Tracy, right? We've all been there. We're like, oh, the thing, I'll say yes. And you're like, why? It's happening now, right? So it's such a boss move to be able to just trust yourself and without explanation or apology, just living your truth then. And speaking of bossing and of course parenting and pursuing multiple passions at once, in a year as hectic as 2020 was, this is an important topic. Is it possible that we're not prioritizing our mental health and well-being enough, particularly with COVID surrounding us? More on that next.
Pull up, girl boss, and join the show. That's right. It's time for your 5 minutes of fame with the hosts of the Connect Show Miami. Yes, every week we bring you girl bosses that bring the magic. It's time for the Level Up, ladies. Join us on Saturdays, 6 a.m. on Fox 29. Register to be a guest at theconnectonline.com.
Welcome back to the Connection South Florida right here on Fox 29. So why are so many of us afraid to address and talk about mental health and well-being? Even if you are a mentally healthy person, you can always work on improving our wellness and improving how good we feel. Ladies, how do you prioritize your mental health? Not to mention juggling family, relationships, business, all the things.
Oh, I will start this because like it takes a village, honey. So, first and foremost for me, it is I have to move. Like if I don't get in a workout, if I don't move my body, I am just not the same person. I am pretty much someone you don't want to spend any time with. So, making sure that I get in a workout first thing in the morning. Yes, it's for my physical health, but really the truth is I do it more for my mental health. That's really, really key. And then, obviously eating healthy food that, I know that's physical, but it does help my mental health. We think clearer if we're fueling our body well. When we're eating like, junky foods and things that don't really serve us, it's hard to have energy and to think clearly. And, just really focusing on gratitude throughout my day. It's so easy to just think of all the things that we're not doing well enough or big enough or enough, like all the things. But whereas if I just think of like, okay, what are the things that I'm really grateful for? What are the things that I'm doing well each day? So I try to like when I close the laptop every day, it's like, all right, what are 3 things that I just completely rocked today? So that I'm just really focusing on my wins through the day. It just makes life easier. How about you guys?
I like that.
Stitches.
For me, I'm in the mode of really adjusting to that because I was always that person where go, 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 go. And I'll be honest with you, it got to a point where my body literally shut down and I physically had to stop and reassess and reevaluate and recalculate and really breathe. And it got to a point where, we get into that mode, ladies. I'm sure all of you have at a certain point where it's like, if you don't do it now, it's not going to get done. You got to get it. You got to go. You got to. And no, sometimes it just has to wait. Sometimes you just got to put the finger up and say, no, maybe tomorrow. It's not gonna be bad. So at a certain point in my life, literally my body, this is true story. My body, once I got too stressed or once it was too much, I would get shocks in my body. And that's how I would know that I needed to calm down. It's unfortunate. I'm to the point now where I kind of detect when it's too much. So I don't need shocks anymore in my life.
This is how wise the body is. I'm glad you've shared that. It's very important to pay attention to, of course, how your body feels, but also how your body responds to people. Have you noticed the nervous system will sometimes tell you if someone's like, I don't know, or if maybe I've had this come up a few times just in my coaching business, people wanting to get rid of some friendships, like heading into a new year. And I always say, we'll do a couple of different exercises, but paying attention to how your nervous system responds to people is such an act of self-love. It's giving yourself major grace, allowing only the right people into your circle, into your life, having access to you. This is how I really manage mental health and well-being. I only have people in my life who love me. It's love in, love out only. And I also pay attention to how I speak to myself. And I think that it's so easy to not do that. But the way that you know if your self-talk is positive or negative is just based on how you're feeling. Your emotions will always give you direct feedback as to what's going on in your mind. And if I feel heavy, sad, a bit depressed, uncertain, or afraid, I'm like, my thoughts are off. There's something wrong here. So being conscious, we're not here to have easy lives, right? We're here to have like these conscious lives and to consciously allow more ease in. So Just paying attention to how you're feeling and talking to yourself in the right way, giving yourself some grace. I have a post-it in my room now that says 5% error margin. Like being okay with making mistakes, messing up. This keeps you not only healthy and happy, but it keeps you young. I'm convinced this is what keeps you young, because when we're stressed out and we're mean to ourselves, our body doesn't like it, and it also starts to look different. So grace, love, having a sense of humor, not taking it all so seriously, this will prolong your life. I'm also just convinced of this. I mean, guys, come on, we know how to have fun, right? Isn't fun critical somewhere? Let's play too.
I had a question though. You brought up a good point. This is for both of you. People in your lives that you wanted to get rid of or wanted to keep, how were you able to, or did you have a situation where you had to kind of gonna let this one go? How did you deal with that?
It's a great question. And Tracy, please, certainly chime in here too. A couple of things can happen. If someone has let you down or disappointed you, you can, of course, have a conversation, right? You can invite that in, especially if you want the friendship to continue. And it can be a really nice invitation to kind of go deeper, even improve the depth of your relationship by communicating how you feel and working stuff out. But if you just know that someone doesn't belong in your life, you don't owe anybody anything. You can kindly withdraw. Often relationships can fizzle out over time without much, attention on them. And if someone wants to have a conversation, it's up to you what you want to do. But it's important to know that in the world, you want to show up with kindness, with love, foremost for yourself. But know that there isn't exactly a protocol or right or wrong. And knowing that maybe just taking a step back and breathing and having some distance can just be very healthy, and it can bring clarity too.
Nice.
You know what I also find too, I love that. I love that you said that it's okay to withdraw, because I also find like in the wellness, world and in the, it's so often like, oh, we have to talk it out. It's like, sometimes you don't actually, sometimes you really don't. But also I think, from an energetic standpoint too, it's like, what are we energetically letting in and what are we just not available for? And that means things and experiences. That also means people, so it's funny because like, as we were talking, I'm thinking about like, are there any relationships? And it's like, actually right now, no, because energetically it's like, I just don't have the time or the space for anyone that's not like a complete love and full yes. Otherwise, like, you're just not in my world. And quite honestly, like, I wouldn't be attracted to that. Does that make sense?
Right. I'm going to use that. I'm not available for that right now.
I am not available.
Yes.
My husband loves it when I say that. Trust me. Not so much, but I do say it.
This is what I would refer to as a power shift. Essentially, you whatever we're focusing on is always going to be expanding, right? Getting more and more momentum. And when you just remove your focus, it loses its power. Any situation. Yeah. So more on shifting your power to change your life up coming up.
Stop Checking Your Likes is the hottest must-read of the moment. This is not a book about social media. It's about shaking off that need for approval and living your incredible life. It's available everywhere books are sold.
Welcome back to The Connection Miami on Fox 29. Have you ever wanted to make a big change in your life, but you just don't know where to start? It can certainly be tricky. Well, we're going to be talking about a power shift, which is an awesome concept, because it's so easy to hear stuff like, someone doesn't allow me to make a change, or I've lost my power, or I don't feel powerful in a situation. How have you learned specifically to earn your power, and what makes you feel powerful? The reason, or one way we give away our power so quickly, is just not thinking we have any, right? And not thinking that everything is, not everything, but so much is just controlled within, right? There's always going to be stuff we can't control, always. But what do I have control over is always like one of my favorite questions. When stuff goes wrong, right? Unexpected, it happens to all of us, right? Especially in business, things change. Timing happens, something happens in a news cycle, a lot of things are always shifting, but there's always something that you can control in any situation. And when you come back to that question, this is what any good coach will ask you: what do you have control over right now? What do you have control over right now? Your brain actually just gets to work for you too, like on demand. Like if you just start asking that question, you realize how much you can kind of get busy doing versus just feeling powerless and feeling like, everything's happening and you just got to like stay afloat. There's
Right.
always more and more that we can do and more that we can manage, especially within our own mind.
I love that. I think it's so, Stitches, you said this also, it's like, it's the decision.
Yeah.
Both of you said this. It's like deciding that I have power in this moment, because we always do, no matter what is happening. I mean, it was a crazy, crazy year last year. And still, with all of 2020 and everything that came with it, we can always decide to be happy, to be positive, to be grateful, right? I mean, the fact that we are here right now says that we are here right now. That's something to celebrate, and that, to be grateful for. So I just think it's really that deciding. I have a question for you guys. So when it comes to celebration, like celebrating your wins, how do you factor that in? Do you have like a little ritual or a process that you do? Like how do you do that? Because I do struggle with that a little bit.
Celebrating is the best thing on earth. And why not celebrate every tiny victory, right?
Yeah.
Why wait for a book deal or an engagement or something like that to celebrate your life? I mean, also, celebration is proved to release dopamine in the brain, which also opens up different creative centers, kind of keeps you on your game. I love celebrate everything. I did something. I love, I made myself like the perfect matcha latte. Look at me. I should have my own show. Like when it comes to making coffees, like whatever it may be. Even like training your brain to look for the good, to notice what's working, and it's so easy just to only focus on like what, where we fell short or what we didn't complete. Yeah. But often so much more is going right than wrong, and we just don't pay attention. So when we can celebrate ourselves for small things, I think it just invites more and more big things, right? And things work out for me. That's just the energy that you're in. What do you think, Stitches?
I agree 1,000%. And I was in that box for a little bit where it was like, yeah, you got it done. That was great. You got it done. Next one, got it done. Next one. And then my best friend really, how you hear it in the movies sometimes. I love watching movies and listening to the music in them. And my friend like actually told me, she's like, you need to stop and smell the roses. I'm like, what? What do you mean? But as time went by, like I really understood what that meant. And it's just really to stop, pause, and enjoy what's in front of you. Enjoy what you were able to do. Enjoy that. Thank God you woke up today. Everybody didn't have that opportunity. Or my mom says that's a blessing to wake up. That's an accomplishment. So I agree, just the small things, not even for yourself, but celebrating other people's wins as well. I think it's something good and positive to do, because the more good you put out, we call it like the transaction. The more, if all you're putting out is trash, that's what you're going to receive. If you're putting out good, eventually you just have to receive the good. So I think that I encourage that. Just celebrate the win. Celebrate the win.
Yes. Well, it's funny being a mom, seeing my daughter, like she yesterday we were packing like some boxes, and she would put like one little thing in, obviously it wasn't her box, and just put it in. She was like, and so it's funny because now as she's getting a little older, now she's almost a year and a half, it's like, she is such a good teacher. Oh my goodness, is she such a good teacher? I'm like, I get it. I get why people do all this. Like, it's so much work, and it's so amazing. Like, just to have this beautiful lesson every single day of how to just wake up happy for no reason, how to just celebrate yourself. Like she, like eats a bite of food and is like, yes. So excited. So it's pretty amazing to see that. It's a good reminder.
It's interesting though how we just stopped doing that pretty quickly. It's almost like overnight that stops, right? It's like, oh, we got to really earn you can't just clap for that, right? Yeah. It's cute. If you even congratulate someone on something and it's not maybe the biggest accolade of their life so far, they're like, oh yeah, right. But it's like, hey, take the compliment, enjoy the small victory, truly, however small. Who's to say there's a level you must reach before you celebrate? Who's to say you are to say about your life. And one other thing too that most people don't really consider or think about, but this may encourage you to celebrate more, is when you start to celebrate anything, right? However minor, or you say, hey, I'm proud of myself for that, or I'm enjoying a nice cup of tea for this, or I'm taking myself out for something because I did this thing that I've been putting off, whatever it is, doesn't have to be impressive by anybody else's standards. When you start to live that way, everyone else is like, oh, is she allowed to celebrate that thing? What she doesn't have a Nobel Prize. Is she allowed to feel good about herself yet? And like, you know what? When you show up and you start to celebrate your life, appreciate yourself, right? Treat yourself like you are, because worthiness and achievement are not the same thing, right? So confused. You're worthy of feeling good, worthy of having a rich, delicious, abundant life, worthy of laughing, worthy of just having joy, having fun, right? You show up in the world differently, and you are an example. People won't tell you, but you are an example of how it can be done, like how life can be celebrated, and that is generous. Like going to the world that way is generous.
You said something before when we were all talking before, and it's when someone even gives you a compliment, just receiving that compliment and not having to say not having a retort after it. Well, no, it wasn't that good. Oh, no. Just receive it saying thank you. We understand we're not trying to say everything is peachy clean. It's all rosy. I'm not saying that. But we can make the best of every situation, I think, and that's really what we're promoting. Make the best of every situation.
Yeah. And that's just completely magnetic, right? People want to be around that person, that woman, that person that's really in gratitude and celebration, because you light up a room. You're fun to be around. You make other people feel good, and it's just this beautiful circle, right?
Yeah. And when you're conscious of your own energy, I think sometimes we don't realize there's no one have you ever met anyone in the world who said, I'm just a negative person? Right? Yeah. No one thinks that they are, right? You see it a lot, right? And it's like, oh, the food's cold. Oh, it's too hot in here. Oh, I don't know. The weather's off. That's off. These people are all annoying me. That happens to all of us. We can feel if a room is cold, if the food is cold, if someone's annoying, right? Your life it doesn't change everything. It doesn't make everything better. You'll still have challenges, but it's just how you'll just like weather those, right? And how long they last and how much of an impact they actually have. It's pretty remarkable, how your reaction to life, if you're a bit more playful, how like storms tend to pass faster. People don't bring all of their problems to you. It's kind of what you attract versus not attract at the same depth, right? And with the same level of being serious. And I'd rather like voluntarily like check out of anything that is dramatic that I don't need to be a part of. Right? Like Tracy said, not available.
No.
What did you say, Tracy? I'm not here for that. What is it?
Not available for that.
It's true. If you love what you're hearing and what you're seeing, you definitely have to stay connected with us, theconnectonline.com, for more of all of this. And of course, boss women, boss ladies right here in South Florida and across the world. Right, ladies?
Yes. Yes. Okay, my friends, we will see you next week on the Connect Show, South Florida, on Fox 20.
Make the best of every situation.